This mental shift helped me become a better music producer. So I know a lot of producers are out there struggling right now with an identity crisis, perfectionism, comparison, trying to keep up with the latest trendy sound, all of that. In this video, I'm going to help you bypass that and step into who you are and own that. Own your sound signature, your fingerprint. If you don't have one, this video is going to help you create that. I'm going to share with you 5 things that will make you a better music producer and how they made me become a better music producer. Before we get started, you know the deal. Help spread the good karma. I want this video to reach more producers just like you who could use a mental mindset shift, who could use help leveling up their production game and their mindset. All you have to do is like this video, comment, and if you like the content, subscribe, because it helps push this video into the algorithm and reach more producers. This means I get to help more producers and you help me help more producers by doing so, and the good karma is going to come right back to you. Okay, so there's a few things that helped me change my mentality as a music producer. Before we get into that though, I want to tell you where I was at. So I was chasing perfection, and I had to learn in music, you're not going to find perfection. I was trying to make sure every snare was hitting on the right frequency. I wanted the kicks to be the perfect frequency. I wanted them to sit in the pocket just right. I wanted my volumes, everything to just be perfect, right? Perfect, and right. Those 2 words were holding me back. Perfect and right. Because it doesn't exist. That's an illusion. These are man-made concepts. If you look out into nature, you'll get the answers. When you look at a tree, there's not a tree in the world that grows perfectly straight. There's curvature. There's trees that have been standing for hundreds of years that are crooked. There's trees that are coming out the ground with the curve to them. When you deal with people, we're not perfectly created. Right? We're imperfect beings. Some of us are, our eyes, one eye is bigger than the other. One nostril is bigger than the other. Our nose might be a little crooked. Our smile could be crooked. That is the beauty of this world that we live in. Nothing is perfect. So when you approach your art, you're not going to create anything perfect, because nothing perfect is going to come from something imperfect. You're an imperfect being. So you have to get that out of your head. That is the number one thing, is perfectionism that hurts us, right? And so, like I said, there's a few concepts I'm going to go through, but that's number 1. Number 2 is having a problem, an identity crisis, not owning our sound. We're chasing the latest, greatest sound out there, right? We want to sound like what's modern, what's hot right now, because we're scared to be ourselves. It's just like trying to be somebody else. It's impossible. You can only be yourself. You could borrow cadences, rhythms, certain expressions, voicings from other producers and musicians. That's great. That's fair game. That's how we evolve, because we're learning. It's almost like when you first start drawing. The first way I learned to draw, I was tracing, and then I learned how to take that tracing element that was applying to my art and do it freehand. But you have to start somewhere. So with production, it's the same way. We trace in our minds. We look at our 5 favorite producers and we go and we trace what they did, right? But that's following a trail. That's what you're doing. You're tracing back what has been done. And then because you were born and created in a whole new time, there's no way you can go back to that time and catch that same rhythm and be that same thing. You're going to bring who you are into that. Once it's filtered through you, you're a filter. But you have to allow yourself to be that filter to create that. If you don't allow yourself to be that and you close yourself off to yourself, that's where you reach beat block, because you're trying to create something and be something that you are not. Open up to who you are, your feelings, your thoughts, your vibration, and that's what's going to help you expand. Right? That's a complete mental shift. When I learned that, like, wait a minute, we get so fascinated by what these producers did already that we try to mimic certain details, right? We try to, well, that's not how they did it. That's okay. That's not how you're supposed to do it. You're supposed to do it how you did it. And that's what you have to let go of, because that goes with the point 1 with perfectionism. That's why you love their music. The producers and musicians that you love is because they didn't do it in a way that it was perfect. Even their attempt at perfection is still imperfect. So it's really accepting that aspect to understand. This walks into number 3, which is comparison. So sometimes we compare ourselves too much. We'll be scrolling, on social media. We hear a beat, man, and it could be back to our favorite producers, or it could be another musician that's up and coming, or your contemporary. And you hear what they did, and now you're comparing, well, my beat don't sound like that, so I don't like it anymore. That is the fastest way to failure, is comparing yourself to everyone or other producers. It's good to compliment yourself in contrast to other producers, right? It's okay to contrast, but even that is comparison in a way. I love great music. I love dope beats. The only thing that can happen, which is the best thing, is when I hear another producer's beat that's banging, it's going to inspire me to go to the lab to do me, because I hear that producer doing them, which reinvigorates my flame and makes me, get on it. Like, he's banging out. That's some heat. I gotta go bang out some heat. It's no haterade. It's motivation. That's fuel. That's fire. You need that. That's what helps you. But you can't be comparing yourself to other producers. You could admire other producers, but make sure that the ones that you admire, that you take it and get inspired. That's what it's really about. Okay. Don't judge, because when you judge, you're judging yourself as well. That saying, you point one finger, 3 are pointing back at you. It's literally that. It took me a minute to realize that's what that phrase really meant. When I'm pointing this finger, there's literally 3 of my other fingers are pointing back at me at the time I'm pointing the finger. So you could use that and reverse that too. You could reverse engineer that, is when you're pointing at them, and even in a great motivational way, like, yo, he did that and that was dope. Remember, point at yourself 3 times as more, because you could do you, and there's no one that could do you greater than you. So remember that inspiration is a reflection to you to go in the lab and get inspired to do who you are. That's why the 3 fingers are pointing back at you, to remind you that you are just as great. Okay. So number 4, invest in yourself. I didn't know this early on in the way that I do now, right? Some of us, sometimes we're scared to invest in the gear that we need. We'll say, oh, it's too high price. But when you say that to yourself, you're telling yourself that you're not worth it. The course, the VST plugins that you've been wanting to get, when you tell yourself, oh, I'm gonna wait till later, you're only putting your own dreams on hold. Because there's a reason why you want that. There's a reason why you're drawn and magnetized by that. There's a reason why you're drawn to it. There's a reason why it's calling you. It's telling you, yo, invest in me so that I can bring out the best in you. That's what it's really about. Because when you invest in that, you're really investing in yourself. And no one's going to invest in you like you. You have to believe in yourself first. If you're a producer and you were looking for an investor, the investor's going to look at what you did with your money and how you invested in yourself first, before they would even be willing to invest in you. Because if you don't believe in yourself enough to invest in yourself, then no one's going to believe in you enough to invest in you. It starts with you. Invest in yourself. Get the course, get the VST, get that gear that you've been looking at. There was the Big 6 mixer that I grabbed. I grabbed that because I knew that I needed it, and I knew that it was going to not only enhance my sound, but everyone who grabs my VST plugins, it was going to enhance their sound as well. So it was bigger than me. Sometimes you have to make the picture bigger than you. Sometimes you're too close and you're looking just at yourself. You got to zoom out and look at the bigger picture, your why, your purpose, everybody around you, why you do this, your children, your children's children's children. Like Dame Dash said, I don't work for my first name, I work for my last name. That's what it's really about. When you're doing this, you're investing in your legacy, not only just yourself as a person. Okay? So for the most part, that's it. There is another one, a bonus tip, which is to not overthink. Create over overthinking. Whenever you're overthinking, that means you're not in creation mode. You can only be in one or the other. So get into creativity mode. Get that fuel, keep that fuel burning. It goes back to the video I did When I talked about producing versus mixing, should you mix while you produce? It's the same thing. You should always focus on creativity, and then after you're done with the creative process, do the thinking after that, because you don't want to analyze yourself out of a banger. You want to stay in creation mode. So these were 5 things that helped me make a mental shift as a music producer, that made me become a better producer and start looking from a new perspective and creating from a whole nother portal, a whole nother aspect, a whole nother dimension of myself. So I hope you can implement these things and they help you take your music production career to the next level, in your music production mindset, just your mindset as a person, even beyond being a music producer. I believe these gems could apply because they're universal principles, and they'll help you not only become a better music producer, but a better person overall. I know that they did that for me. Also, if you're a music producer who wants to get your music placed in television film, check this out. I hear a lot about sync placements and sync licensing, and there was a producer that asked me to do a video talking about it, since I have a catalog and I've been doing it since 2009. I was actually one of the first people to create courses on television film music. As a matter of fact, in the hip hop community, I'm probably the first one to do it. I had a course out in 2014, 2015 called Music Monopoly. I talk about everything in this video right here that you could check out, where I tell you all of the game that you need to get your music placed and how to get paid as a music producer when it comes to licensing your music in television film. So check that out.